Hello, my name is Kizzy-Ann Rose. The purpose of this podcast is to educate you about child abuse, specifically child sex abuse. First of all, I'm going to start with some important tips and some important statistics about child abuse. A report of child abuse is made every 10 seconds. More than 5 children die every day as a result of child abuse. The U.S. Department of Health states that 80% of children that die from abuse are under the age of 4. There are 2.8 million cases of child abuse annually worldwide. About 80% of 21-year-olds that were abused as children meet criteria for at least one psychological disorder. Research states that personality disorders are more prevalent among those who have a history of childhood maltreatment. The social costs associated with childhood maltreatment are many. Children who experience child abuse and neglect are 59% more likely to be arrested as a juvenile, 28% more likely to be arrested as an adult, and 30% more likely to commit a violent crime. 30% of abused and neglected children will go on to neglect their own children. As many as 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 7 boys will be sexually abused at some point in their life. Research shows that educating children from as early as ages 2 years old about their body parts is an effective way of helping to reduce the incidence of child sex abuse in children of all ages. There are things that you can do to prevent child abuse from happening. Talk to your kids about their bodies. Let them know that certain body parts are private. Teach your kids to say no to anyone who may try to touch them in any way. Explain to your kids that there are right ways and wrong ways to be touched. Be open and accessible to your kids so that they can come and talk to you about anything. Remember that. Teach your children the correct names for their private parts. Try not to use slang terms like pee-pee or wee-wee. When talking to your children, use the correct terms. Penis, for example. Say the real thing so that your child can be able to come and tell you if, God forbid, somebody tries to touch them, they can say, "Mom, they touched me on my penis." They can use the actually correct word. Be aware that anyone can be an abuser. Family members, friends, clergy members, anybody can be an abuser. Research shows that 90% of child abuse victims know the perpetrator in some way. Children are often abused by family members and close family friends more than by strangers. Most importantly, teach your children to yell no at anyone who tries to touch them on their private parts. Teach them that these parts are special. Teach them to yell and run away if someone tries to touch them on their special parts. Please allow open communication with your children so that they can feel safe to tell you immediately if someone tried to touch them inappropriately. There are instances in which a child abuser may threaten the child's safety. They may also try to bribe them with candy. Please let your child be aware of these instances. Tell your child if they try to bribe you with candy, say no. If they threaten to hurt your family, still tell your mom, still tell me what happened. Make sure that your child understands that the abuser may try to manipulate them into doing something bad. Remember, it is our duty to protect our children, who are our future also. Parents, please look for these signs if you suspect that your child is being abused. Your child may have trouble walking or sitting. They display knowledge or interest in sexual acts inappropriate to their age. Your child may make a strong effort to avoid a particular person without an obvious reason. Your child does not want to change clothes in front of people that they would usually change their clothes in front of. They avoid that person. Please note that something may be going on. Education is one of the major keys to prevention. Once again, I'll say that education is one of the major keys to prevention. I wrote a book. I'm going to show you right now. I wrote a book, and it's called Don't Touch Me There. This is the book that I wrote, and it's really to assist with child abuse prevention. Books like these, Don't Touch Me There, are very helpful. If you're nervous about talking to your child about child sex abuse, if you're nervous about talking to them about their body parts, get a book like Don't Touch Me There or any other book and just read it to your child, especially the ones that are 3 and up. Read that book to your child and let them know, hey, this is your, it will teach them about their special parts, and it will help them to understand that it's private and that no one should touch them there. Do not be afraid. Do not hesitate to do this for your children. This is one of the best ways of protecting your children from an abuser. The number, if you know or suspect that a child is being abused, please do not hesitate to call the National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4-A-CHILD or 1-800-422-4453. The number again is 1-800-422-4453. The call can be placed anonymously, okay, parents? So you don't have to worry. You can call, and you can even say, if you're not sure if your child is being abused, call and say, tell them the case, and they will let you know. They will say, okay, that is a case of abuse. Please do not hesitate to do that. Be aware, educate your children, and just be safe, all right? Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope that this was helpful. Once again, my name is Kizzy-Ann Rose. Thanks again for listening.